In Module 6, you will learn about various types of assessments which may be used in action research. This is an overview. Details are beyond the scope of this course. Student assessment data are crucial in schools and are mainly used to track the progress and performance of students. However, they are also utilized to evaluate teachers and schools in some cases. Assessment data are useful for school action researchers as they explore the effectiveness of their practices through collecting and analyzing both qualitative and quantitative data. One single assessment is not enough to guide educators' instructional practices, so they must know how to design and evaluate multiple assessment tools. Teachers use both formal and informal assessments to assess readiness and dispositions of students, monitor students' progress and performance, determine the best placement for students to maximize their potential, plan differentiated instruction to meet the needs of all the students in the class, assign grades, comply with local, state, and federal laws, and communicate with parents and other stakeholders. When assessment data is shared with students, it enables them to take part in setting their own learning goals and evaluating their own progress. Using standardized commercial achievement tests. The majority of standardized commercial tests can be divided into two types: norm reference tests and criterion referenced tests. A norm reference test compares an individual's performance to a larger group called a norm group. The test is designed to determine where the individual stands in relation to others who have taken the same test. The results are typically reported in percentiles or standard scores. An example of a norm reference test used in US schools is the SAT, which measures a student's readiness for college level work and is scored on a scale of 400 to 1600, with scores reported in percentiles. A percentile indicates the percentage of test takers who scored below the student's score. A criterion reference test measures a student's performance against a set of criteria or standards to determine whether they have achieved a certain level of mastery in a subject or skill. Unlike norm reference tests, criterion reference tests do not compare a student's performance to other test takers. An example of a criterion reference test used in US schools is the Advanced Placement Exam, or AP exam. AP exams assess whether a student has achieved college level mastery of a subject, and they are scored on a scale of 1 to 5, with a score of 3 or higher indicating mastery of the subject. The exam is based on a predetermined set of criteria established by the College Board. Teacher-made tests. Teachers continuously assess students formally and informally. These include homework, quizzes and tests, projects, oral and/or audio-visual presentations, etc. Students should always know the purpose. Teachers should always explain the purpose and the format of the test to the students, as well as how they will score the test and give the students a grade. Writing instructional objectives. Writing instructional objectives assist teachers in defining and clearly communicating the intended goals of their teaching unit and in evaluating how effectively students have achieved these objectives. Constructing teacher-made traditional assessment tools. Assessment tools created by teachers can be used in all stages of instruction, including diagnostic, which is used prior to instruction, formative, used during instruction, or summative at the end of instruction. Selection type items, where students have to pick the correct response from a list of options, are simple to grade and examine. However, such items give students the option to guess the right answer. Supply type items require students to recall, compose, or analyze information and construct an answer. They are easy to create and discourage guessing. However, longer response items or essays can be difficult to grade for some people. Every achievement test should have content validity, which means that the test should match the content, knowledge, and skills it is meant to assess. It should also have reliability, which refers to the consistency of test results and whether the same test results will be obtained when the test is repeated with the same individuals or group. Using teacher-made authentic assessment tools. Authentic assessment tools focus on the practical application of knowledge, encourage open-ended thinking, and present realistic problems based on real-world solutions. Performance assessments allow teachers to observe and evaluate students' relevant task performance, including both the product created and the process used. Clear criteria are necessary for evaluating both the product and the process. Curriculum-based measurement, or CBM, is a method used to evaluate how well students are performing in relation to the curriculum they're being taught. It involves frequent short assessments that are directly related to the content and materials covered in class. CBM is easy to score and grade. A rubric is a scoring system used to evaluate students' performance on tasks. It can be simple or complex. A portfolio is a systematic collection of samples of students' work that are carefully chosen by the teacher, the student, or both. It can include various assessment tools. It allows students to take a more active role in their learning and provides a holistic way of evaluating and documenting their learning. Using each assessment tool has benefits and drawbacks, so combining different methods can give a more complete and comprehensive insight about students' work. Action researchers can use data obtained through various assessment tools to enhance and broaden their investigations. So an action researcher could look at performance on various local, district, state, or even national examinations, as an example.